of Jamaica, Mr. Holness, started his presentation by misrepresenting the facts. First of all, the Prime Minister attempted to give the credit for the rebuilding of the Jamaica economy to Mr. Golden and the Jamaica Labour Party, Bruce Golden and the Jamaica Labour Party. And there couldn't be anything further from the truth. Let's just look at a few things here. When Portia Simpson Miller demit office in 2007 rather. Let's just look at a few things here. When Portia Simpson Miller demit office in 2007 rather, it'll be, but we, for the purpose of discussion, we'll round it off at 3%. By the end of the 4 years of Bruce Golden, and we can discuss, persons can weigh in and discuss what would have caused it, etc., etc. But the fact of the matter is that while getting an economy that was growing at 3%, at the end of Mr. Golden and the Jamaica Labour Party 4 years, well, you could say the end of Holness's administration, because remember that Holness picked up at the end of the day for a short period, however, but the economy had shrunk by 5 percentage points. Now, for those of you who like to come and take me on and, you know, said nasty things and so on, I'll direct you not to take on Conrad O'Brien, but go to the Statin or the PIOJ website, and it is there that you can see it. Also, we talk about Christopherson, and we tend to champion his stint as agriculture minister. The agriculture sector in that period also declined by 5 percentage points. And a miss says so, and a record says so. But it is incumbent on us who sits behind the microphone and radio, practicing journalists, talk show hosts, whatever title you want to give us, broadcast journalists, etc. It is incumbent on us to educate the Jamaican people, to give them the truth, because we can understand that there are people who practice the politics and people who are steep in propaganda and indeed lies. And that is why we're called the fourth estate, because we have to do the recalibration and to put the factual information out there. So that was one of the situations to start with, to begin with, right? Where Mr. Holness basically misled the Jamaican people. The truth is that after 2008 to 2011-12 stint there by the Jamaica Labour Party, the world was viewing Jamaica as a pariah. We could not get any agreement with the International Lending Agency, i.e. the IMF, World Bank, etc. They locked Jamaica out of the capital market. Portia Simpson Miller, Mrs. Portia Simpson Miller, the most honorable, then Prime Minister of Jamaica, she jetted to Washington, D.C. to meet with the Black Caucus, people like Maxine Walters and so on. They engaged the IMF boss, Christine Lagarde at the time, and begged for them not to disband Jamaica. At the end of it all, well, during the period of negotiation, then opposition leader Andrew Holness, he was saying to the government of the day, Portia Simpson Miller, her finance minister Dr. Phillips, sign any agreement. They said no, can't sign any agreement. Have to sign an agreement that makes sense. At that time, we saw the advent of epoch and so on, where they work through this monitoring body. And, it is important that we put these things out there, because students are listening, people are doing thesis, etc., etc., right? Quiz are being asked, and these things are also in school. So we have to put these things out there, because students are listening, people are doing thesis, etc., etc., right? Quiz are being asked, and these things are also in school. So we have to put these things out there to be done. So at the end of it all, when the IMF decided to give Jamaica a parade, so to speak, or to enter into another agreement with Jamaica, they said, listen, you will now have to do the heavy lifting. That is to say, they outline A, B, C, D, E, F that you have to do before you can have a drawdown from the International Monetary Fund. At the end of all of that, or during that period, the IMF basically gave Jamaica a lot of kudos. Jamaica was now used as the poster child for the International Monetary Fund. And I'm just trying to pull something up here to share with you, because, as I said before, I don't pride myself by going the name, the fireman and the man who speak truth to power, just glibly. It is by the work that I have done, and people say, boy, Conrad, you really deliver. So we see as a fireman, the man who pushed the envelope hard. There's a picture here that was carried in the Jamaican Gleaner. Don't have the date exactly now. And it shows, it have a caption here, leadership for the time. IMF boss, salute Portia Peter for putting Jamaica back on track. It has a picture of Portia Simpson Miller, the most honorable former Prime Minister of Jamaica. It has a picture of Miss Lagarde there, Christine Lagarde, and a picture of Dr. Peter Phillips. There's also some things there, and it shows some other, go on to give some details there, but that's the essence of what I want to put out there. The Prime Minister also went into a raft of things, went back all the way about 70 years ago, 60, 70 years ago, in order to make his point and to lambaste the People's National Party and the then Michael Manley administration and so on. But alas, at the end of it all, as if the Prime Minister didn't have anything of his own or of their own creation, you know what was the salient point of the Prime Minister presentation? A PNP legacy. And I'm not saying this because I'm chomping at the bit for the PNP. I'm just putting the facts out there. At the end of the day, the bragging points of the PM and the goodies that he was able to offer in the main, you know where it came from? The National Housing Trust that was created in 1974 by a PNP administration led by one Michael Norman Manley, simply called Joshua. Those are some of the facts that are out there. The PM also attempted to say that, well, he did not attempt. He said that, listen, they could not do anything because of the FinSac era and what happened as a result of that. The truth is that Mr. Holness got almost what could be described as a perfect wicket to bat on. He got an economy that all the variables were in place, to the point where he had actually promised 5 in 4. Suffice it to say that that went in thin air. Heavyweights such as a Michael Leachin came in and other persons were there as well, to include now Minister of Industry and Commerce, Orbin Hill. All of those promises went up in thin air, and we saw where the economy of Jamaica recorded a decline, and we are now technically in a recession. We're in a recession. Whatever shape recession you want to say, and I give them that we can probably describe it as a V-shaped recession, which is the which is the most moderate one. But nonetheless, we're in a recession. The truth is that we must endeavor to put the information out there. I want to just close by saying we have not seen one school built under this administration for 9 years. PJ Patterson and the PNP, they built 17 schools in the last 4 years of PJ's tenure. That's Conrad's stake. Stay with me. Don't leave the space.
Empire Group of Companies is now in the heart of New Kingston to serve.
This is Make We Talk Breaking News. We interrupt this program with a special item of news coming in to us that there is a active shooting incident in the intersection of Mollines Road and Boulevard in Kingston, Jamaica. Sources are telling the Mekwita newsroom that men on a motorcycle rode up on the bike and pumped bullets into a pro-box motor car. That's news coming into a news center that there's an active shooting incident between the intersection of Mollines Road and the Boulevard, that men on a motorcycle rode up and pumped bullets into a pro-box motor car. We are here trying to get other details as we interrupt the fireman's program coming to us on News Talk 93 FM. There's an active shooting right now, an active shooting that we're hearing on the intersection of Mollines Road and Boulevard. We are trying to get some more details in this shooting. But based on what we are hearing, that there's an active shooting right now on the intersection of Mollines Road and Boulevard. We are trying to get some more news into our news center. As soon as we do so, we will bring it to you live. But there is an active shooting on the intersection of Mollines Road and Boulevard. Men on motorcycle rode up on the bike and pumped bullets into a pro-box motor car. It is now 9:32 in Kingston, Jamaica, 10:32 in South Florida. And what we're hearing on our news center and the news wire here that is coming into the Mekwita newsroom, it does not look good. The morning has started bloody in Jamaica. And that's the news we're getting in. This is Make We Talk Breaking News.
The people of Jamaica who earn minimum wage, that also I find, I myself found it to be a little bit distasteful there as well. I think we have callers, so let's go to the phone line and take our first call. Hello, welcome caller.
Conrad, we are going with.
Hi Africa, I'm fine, thank you sir. How are you doing?
I'm present on a gift transfer tonight. Good to be here, you know.
Always, yes.
Cocotina get no honor.
If he had ever been honored by the Jamaican government?
Yes, Conrad.
I am not quite sure. We could check that though. But I'm producer at Kafka T ever receive a national honor? I'm not sure. We could check that. We could check that. Thanks for asking.
Marketing budget presentation. I like it, you know.
Well, that's good. You know, it's getting quite a bit of positive review. You know, people are seeing, some people are saying, boy, they're seeing new hope and so on. And you know why Mark Golden's budget presentation resonates so much? Mark has never given a bat at a chance at the wicket before as Prime Minister. So here he is putting out a number of things. But make your point. Tell me why you like it.
Him sound like the savior, you know.
Oh, he does? Wow.
Yeah, man, in the budget presentation, them sound like the savior for the Jamaican people.
I'm sure this must be music to 89 Old Hope and to OLO. Maybe they're taping that clip and should play it. Here's a caller saying that Mark sounds like the savior. So maybe you will hear your voice clip during the campaign trail, Africa.
Want to the something when we tell you for ever put on the radio.
The ad that will come, man. That will come. Africa is advocating that the PNP should be advertising here. That will come. I have no doubt that will come.
And then for us put in the housing trust in the ad too.
All right. All right.
Like when say on the housing trust.
Yes, and you have been calling for this kind of game changing approach from the NHG. Yes. So obviously, as one commentator said, you know, that Mark Golden is obviously listening to the hairdressers, the man on the street, the barbers, the small farmers and so on, because what he said certainly resonate with them and bring them into the mainstream to get a benefit from the National Housing Trust.
The man said he must stop take out the housing trust money and he must give the people them land. Land, you know? Well, I'm just about the housing trust money.
Well, he hasn't said, I don't hear him say anything about it.
Him now stop take it out.
I haven't heard him said that.
Let him know why we win the election then. Huh?
Well, he has been there for 9 years, you know, so...
in the enough. In the enough, man. So, all the man have to do, deal with the housing trust, stop take out the money out of the housing trust, and give the people them house and land. That's all the people them need now, you know. The development we go on, the economic growth we go on in Jamaica. That now go on in Canada.
That's true.
9 years no one, no economic growth, you know. And you want to tell me say Andrew won't see that and can't deal with that?
Well, you know, one of the things that I do is pride myself to be factual, Africa. What happened is that there is no growth. There has been very anemic growth, very low growth. And what we saw in the last quarter is a decline, you know, a negative growth. So I want to be factual.
Yes, my brethren. They will see it, man. No growth, not there, man. I last 9 years, upon last year, and look at one the last year.
Yes.
Two quarter, no growth.
The first one, 3.8%, and the second quarter, you had 1.8. Cumulatively, 5.3% decline. That's big.
I hear nothing about how to deal with that. All I can hear about is the housing trust money, what they're going to do with it. I'm not going to build road, I'm not going to build this, I'm not going to build that, I'm not going to build police station, I'm not going to build that out of housing trust money.
And what happened, Africa? What people are saying is that Mr. Holness keep on saying what they're going to do, and he's there 9 years. Why you weren't able to do all of these things? He pivoted and he said, listen, it's because of what happened with the PNP, so they were trying to do this. But the fact of the matter, during the PNP years that he criticized, the PNP was able to build a lot of housing. They were able to basically build highways. Granted, it was in partnership. They were able to build 17 new school, new clinics, etc., etc. Africa, I'm going to have to leave you now. I have some more callers holding.
It's good to be here.
All right, my friend. Blessings. Let's continue to take the calls as we build out your program. Hello, caller. Caller.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning. Hi, Maggie. How are you doing?
Oh, hi, Conrad. I missed out last week calling you because I was so busy. You're too busy. But
Never mind. When were you listening? That's good.
I'm very proud of your opening remarks this morning, and you hit the nail straight on its head. And I am very proud of you. And not just me alone. I think the whole Jamaica get to understand the truth about what Andrew is trying to jump on.
You know, Margaret, we certainly understand the vagaries of what I'm doing here, the danger even, because, sometimes people meet you and them say some dark things, my relative, my family would say, boy, Conrad, so and so, but, the police officers leave their home every day going out there to fight the battle. When I'm here, I understand that I'm fighting a battle as well. Some people are going to be very happy. Some people are going to be happy with hearing the truth, while others will tend to come at me. But that's how it is. But
Yeah, and listen to me, Conrad. You pull the truth across the board fairly. And let me tell you something again. Don't stop, right? Because a long time somebody needs to tell the world. Because not just Jamaica, Jamaica alone, listen. Because our young people don't do research, they don't read too much, they believe in Google and they believe in this. You bring reality and you bring the knowledge happen to Jamaica on the front burner. So they can understand, and you give them a choice now to go and research. To know if you're lying or if you're telling the truth. And
absolutely.
When they go there, they're going to find the truth. The next thing before I go, I want to tell Mr. Holiness, who is listening, and the Mr. Morgan, who is listening to, neither you nor Mark Golden bring any money in this country. The taxpayer bring the money. So don't come and ask where Mark Golden is going to get that money from to fix the budget. The money is in the budget. You, Mr. Holiness, don't take your money from out of your 36 account to put it.
Well, 28 we understand, not 36. Yes.
No, 26 I said. 26 I said.
Oh,
where
okay.
all those accounts you have, you never take $1 out of it and help fix the road. You don't take no money, neither you, your wife, or none of your member of parliament, none of your ministers, none of the cabinet.
As a matter of fact, who take a little money out of their pocket to
let me finish, Conrad. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I have the floor.
Go ahead.
You don't take any money out of your pocket, now you're a combandier. The money comes from the taxpayer of this country. And Mark Golding sees fit to do it the right and proper way so that the taxpayer money can go across. Mr. Holness, Mr. Golding, you don't have no money in this. You work both parties. We have two parties in this country, and both parties work for us, Jamaican people. And Mark Golding is telling us when we give him the job what he's going to do with the money. We already give Andrew 10 years, and it's only after the 10 years to finish him at the mistake he's supposed to do. Come on, Andrew, hold this. Nobody now follow you look of foolishness. And you rush on to do this and you rush on to that. You rush on to do, I don't even know if the new highway open. You rush to open it and it didn't even have anything fixed there for it to open, and you want to go open it because you're finishing it. You go back again and St. Thomas and did the same thing. It's not finished yet. St. Thomas is always giving problem because where the permanent and where the school is a big problem and nobody's talking about it. When the rain fall, it's going to people's yards. So, Mr. Holiness, you fail to do our duty. Is the first for a long time I've heard a budget debate coordinate like what Mark has done. Michael Manley did it. And Mark Golding is the second prime minister. I'm not saying that Portia and CJ didn't do a good one, you know. This one was a duly researched, and it got to the point where he will fix the things we want to fix.
So you're saying you're impressed with Mr. Golden's presentation.
I am
all right, Maggie.
And I want to say to you, to Conrad, I am impressed with you also, Conrad, this morning. And I don't want you to stop. And I don't follow anybody. Don't follow anybody.
All right, Maggie. Thanks a lot for your call this morning. All right, we continue to invite your calls here and Straight Up News Talk 93 FM, which is truly Conrad O'Brien, the fireman. We'll go up until 12 midday. It's your mid-morning number one fix. Hello, welcome caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi, morning, Anthony. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm not bad enough. Mm-hmm. God thanks, so
yes.
It's a brand new day, so I have to give God thanks.
Indeed, it's a day that he made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, eh?
Yes, man. I want to touch on some things that the Prime Minister spoke about in his budget presentation.
Go ahead, sir.
One is the proposal about the vehicle fitness.
Mm-hmm.
He gives some drivers some reprieve vehicle fitness, because he moved from 6 months to 3 years, and it goes up to 5 years. So
no, hold on. Them don't move from 6 months. The fact of the matter is that the 6 months is still in what is saying that you depend on the year of the vehicle, but I don't know that the 6 months.
Yes, man. He said that you don't have to come in 6 months again. You can wait up to 3 years.
Yes. Yes.
That's what he said. And you also can wait up to 5 years in some circumstances.
The year of the vehicle, but I don't know that the 6 months.
Yes, man. He said that you don't have to come in 6 months again. You can wait up to 3 years.
Yes. Yes.
That's what he said. And you also can wait up to 5 years in some circumstances.
Yesterday afternoon on Radio Jamaica with Mr. Earl Maxim, and he was raising a lot of danger with that, and he raised a very, very cogent point there. He said, listen, that a car that is 3 years old could be more defective than a 15-year-old car. It all depends on the maintenance of the vehicle. And he basically was pouring some cold water on the proposal, so I don't know. While we heard another person, Adrian Stokes, that's Dr. Stokes, he was saying that it would ease some of the bottlenecks within the traffic authorities. But while you may be easing that, as you are correctly saying, why would you're putting people's life at danger, because the car could be very faulty?
What I want to know, is if the Prime Minister did not think about the citizenry on a whole when he's making this proposal. Because for one, if you are driving a vehicle for 5 years or 3 years without getting it checked to see if it is roadworthy, then you can meet in the accident. You can let down a child, you can let down old people on the road, you can run off of the road, and when you do that, you know what is going to happen after that? It is going to cost you your license. Right? So it's going to cost people more money to really get back on the road. And then again, the most part for me in this thing is that your car is going to leave unchecked for years. And then you can lead down people and kill them.
Mm-hmm.
That is the problem I have. So for me, it seems to me like the Prime Minister is wanting to break law just to get vote. For me, that's what it is,
Mm-hmm.
Because the law of Jamaica said that you should check your vehicle every 6 months or so.
and now you are moving up to 3 years and 5 years. So for me, you're breaking the law just to get vote. And that is why, I don't know, this Prime Minister needs to check his mind. I guess something wrong with his mind. Anyway, next thing again. The PM said that it is because of FinSac. Why they don't have money to fix road as they would want to. But I want Jamaica to understand this. Even after FinSac, the PMP fix road, they maintain hospital, they maintain school by financing them, and all the other agency, the PMP, have money to do that. So I want to know now, why is he coming to say that he doesn't have money to fix road? If the PMP can fix road after FinSac, and the PMP can maintain hospital and schools, why can't he do the same? For me, the Prime Minister is just playing politics. For me, that's playing politics what he's doing. Just to win over vote.
So you weren't impressed with the Prime Minister's presentation,
no,
eh?
I wasn't at all. I think the Prime Minister is just trying to trick people. As
Okay.
I said, if
You think the trick will work? You think the trick will work? According to you, think the trick will work?
It is not going to work. Why? Because people like me out here who is listening and know things, it's going to rebut it. And other people like me, I am not the only person who see through it negatively. I am not the one person. A lot of people know that he's trying to come with some tricks.
All right.
They say you don't have money to fix the road. I think what he did not, he just timed the election and it's all right. I am not going to fix the road now. Because if I fix the road too early, it is going to mash up and people is going to say, boy, now vote him because he fix the road and mash up. So when you tell him the last point, when he know that he's going to call election, he say, okay, all right, I can fix it now. Because people is going to freshen the people in mind and people is going to say, all right, I'm going to fix the road, so I have a vote for him. That's what he's doing. Because as I said, if the PMP can find money after FinSac to fix road and maintain hospital, maintain school, maintain all the agencies, why couldn't he find money to do that?
All right. Well, you put the question out there, Anthony. Let's see. You put
trying to trick the people.
You put the question. You put the question out there. Anything else? Any other pickup from the Prime Minister's presentation?
You know what hurt me? You know what hurt me? Young children are listening. School children are listening. And when they listen, most I think what they are getting is negative and lies. You can't be doing it as a Prime Minister. You have to teach the youth the right way. Now we wonder why the society is so down low in crime and trickery and scamming and those type of things. It's because of what? I think what they are getting is negative and lies. You can't be doing it as a Prime Minister. You have to teach the youth the right way. Now we wonder why the society is so down low in crime and trickery and scamming and those type of things. It's because of our leader.
Downtown Kingston, I've seen major improvement under this man, the mayor, Andrew Swaby. Something seems to be happening. And I want to, we have to call it as it is. I want to say congratulations, Mayor Swaby. Also, Darrington Ferguson, who is the MP for the Papine area. And people are really and truly excited. They're saying that, listen, for a long time we now have a clean and nice market in Papine, and it's there. I encourage anybody to go into the Papine market. Go there, try and get some vegetable, get something nice environment, clean and nice. I would love to talk to Darrington, the councillor there. Darrington, if you're listening, you can call in and talk to me about that. What's going there in the market? Let's go to the phone line. Hello, welcome caller.
Obi.
Hey, hi Marshy, how you doing, man?
Morning, man. Me there. Can you tell me why Enric is not going back?
Because of very, very, very poor performance and the people chased him out of town.
But I understand you said something else.
What is that?
Something else has been said, but I won't say it. I won't say it.
It's airworthy? It's airworthy?
Yes, it's your word. I won't say it. I won't say it. I will leave it. I will leave it because the news that is out. It's the news that is out, and me no want to say it because me say.
Tell me, man. Go ahead. Once it is not once it's not liable, you can share it.
No, man, not something libelous. But I go and leave it.
All right. Okay. All right. Good.
It's something that is on the street.
But my information out there, I've been in the constituency. You know, I've called here who called Mr. Lewis is from that constituency, and he said that the man is the poorest MP ever maybe in the history of Jamaica. He's missing in action. He has done nothing. He is aloof. Some people say he's even disrespectful. So obviously, you know, the JLP is trying to salvage something.
I heard that other things been said, and he said other things. But
all
I
right.
to catch it.
Okay, good.
To catch it right. No, when they're talking about the economy, you see, anybody take on Omar Azan yet?
You mean manufacturer Omar Azan that said is the worst he has ever. He's in manufacture for over 30 years and is the worst he has ever seen it. I don't hear anybody take him on yet.
Nobody not take him on.
No.
And you know they like it because
and Mr. Azan is not a political act. He's a man who go across the gamut, and for him he come out and say that it is noteworthy. Eh?
If anything, if I am to label Omar Azan, it would be more on the government side. If I am to label him.
And Mr. Azan is the boss. He's the boss. He operates this company named Boss Furnishing, major manufacturer in Jamaica.
Yes. In the Prime Minister convenient history lesson, he leave out a lot of things, man.
Yes.
Because one of somebody who helped campaign for, we can't call the name because the world and his wife knows that Emily Cooks the on their side. And when them did come in, Emily Cooks used this word that the wicket is well rolled now for the JLP to work for Batonnet. Those were all words. And that is because of what Peter Phillips, Dr. Simpson, and the others done to rectify the economy after it was wrecked. And I can remember when
well, the wicket was so rolled. Why you think the Jamaica Labour Party basically came out and said that they were going to grow the economy 4 in 5? Because the wicket was so properly rolled.
Then get a good batting.
And as I shared earlier, Marsh, go ahead and speak while I bring it up.
I remember when Andrew Holness and Audley Shaw were in a battle for the leadership. Me don't know how enough people remember. So Andrew Holness said that Audley Shaw wanted to be leader and he could even pass an IMF test.
Yes, I remember that. And also Audley said that Mr. Holness did some unscrupulous things and he wasn't fit for leader. But I guess people will say, boy, it's a cut and trust of the
busload of people can chase out people.
Yes. But people will say it's a cut and trust of internal politics. But certainly those are on the record, yes?
Yes, it's bigger, man. Let's come and go on like man, a nice David Vatican. Try to box down on Port Clark around a film constituency there, you know. Yes, the same time when he refused to shake the ombudsman, and no wonder them destroy the office of the ombudsman. They did have the plan, you know, so that they can go out and do all them hanky-panky business.
Well, talking about the ombudsman, the political ombudsman, Marsh, that is a disgrace. That is certainly a disgrace. You know, we have dismantled that office and so on, and we're coming into a general election. We saw what happened in the by-election, in the local government election, that we really needed a referee. And there are some things that we must move out of the politics, you know. We must move out of the politics. Things like the political ombudsman office. That is something that we must basically just put something proper in place and move it out of the politics. And I believe all of these things, sorry Marsh, I believe all of these things, they are what marking down Dr. Andrew, Michael, Rodham, Brogard, Holness. That's what marking him down so much. The man don't seem credible. The man coming to government. The committee was chaired by opposition. He moved that. He moved the ombudsman, the integrity commission, find something that's not favorable to him, he take it to court. These are not the way. This is not the way the prime minister is supposed to operate, sir.
But after the prime minister have marathon, they come in to talk about Mark Golden walk out on the prime minister. Me sure at night follow be and walk out. The man sit down there so long and perhaps the man did want to use the bathroom. And the man get up and go to the bathroom. Some of what?
No, before you leave there, let's not forget the only person that we saw last year where the prime minister and his entire team walked out on the people of Jamaica. I'm not even talking about the PNP, but they walked out on the people of Jamaica.
Yeah, yeah.
Mark had to take to the street to finish his presentation, remember? All right, Marsha, have to leave you there. Have to leave you there upon time. All right, all the best. Let's go to the 10 o'clock break. Suka.
As Conrad O'Brien take his 10 o'clock break, we are going to give you some item of news that is coming into us, as I gave it earlier on. Now what we're hearing, let me do this. Just a moment, please. Good morning to those who are just joining us. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. There's an item of news that is coming to a news center, and
this is Make We Talk breaking news.
Make We Talk News understand that gunmen riding on a motorcycle pumped bullets into a Probox motor car a short while ago in the intersection of Mollines Road and Boulevard. That's a Probox motor car was shot up by gunmen. There is a video that we have circulating on social media that I don't think I can show it on air here. But based on what we're hearing, that there is an active shooting and also yes, an active shooting. Police and paramedics are on the scene. But as we come on air this morning here to bring on the simulcast broadcast with Conrad O'Brien, what we're hearing now is that there's an active shooting where gunmen rode up on a motorcycle and pumped bullets into a Probox motor car. We do not know if the Probox motor car is a taxi operator or a private vehicle. We don't know. We are trying to get our news team out there to find out what is it all about, what is going on. But based on what we're hearing right now, that there's an active shooting with a Probox motor car. A Probox motor car. Gunmen rode up on a motorcycle and pumped bullets into that Probox motor car. Also, as we're talking about news, we're being told now that we're talking about news, and many of you may have known that on Wednesday, this Wednesday coming, the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio will be landing in Jamaica for a series of meetings with the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Thus, the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio will be in Jamaica on Wednesday for a high-level meeting with Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Many of us are saying that the meeting is pertaining to the Cuban migrant, the Cuban doctors, and also the port of Kingston owned by the Chinese. Now, I don't have any proof for that, and I can't say definitely that that's going to happen. What I know so far is going to be a high-level meeting, and do not be surprised. Do not be surprised. Out of this meeting may come something that many of us in our country, Jamaica, and in the wider world, in the wider Caribbean, will not like to hear. CARICOM has been inviting the President of the United States into the Caribbean to come and meet with leaders of the Caribbean. Now, based on what is being said in Washington, that when it comes down to the Cuban doctors, they can't have them in their country. Jamaica can't have them in their country. There's a lot of rumors running on social media pertaining to this meeting. And some of the rumors are running around is that maybe the Prime Minister will step down as Prime Minister. There is no truth to that. We can't prove that. And I will not go down that road. But what I know, that this meeting is not in a prom meeting. As what Mr. Ratigan said on his platform on Saturday, that this meeting won't be a little willy-nilly meeting. It's a high-level, serious meeting between the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and Jamaica's Prime Minister. And when he leaves from Jamaica, he'll be going to other Caribbean countries. Is it that there is things that, and I hope the Prime Minister will address the Jamaican people after this high-level meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So we're standing by to join Conrad O'Brien on News Talk 93 FM. But the news that we have coming into our news center is that gunmen rode up on a motorcycle on the intersection of Mollines Road and Boulevard stoplight, pumped bullets into a Probox motorcar. We do not know if the person in the Probox motorcar is dead or alive. We're trying to find out if the Probox motorcar is a taxi operator or not. We're trying to figure that out, but based on what we're hearing, that gunmen a short while ago rode up on a motorcycle and pumped bullets into a gray Probox motorcar, a gray Probox motorcar, or motor vehicle. And that is one of the news that's coming to our news center. We're still trying to find out if this person is a taxi operator or not. And also in our news coming in this morning, which I that you all know, that the Secretary of State for the United States, Mr. Marco Rubio, will be on a high-level meeting to Jamaica on Wednesday. He arrives in Jamaica this Wednesday morning coming. And that meeting will entail some serious talk. Some serious talk. And we're trying to, I personally won't preempt this meeting, but we pray and hope that when the meeting is over and done with, that the Prime Minister will address the nation. If not, then of course we here on the Make We Talk program and Reason Ratigan program will find out, maybe not details, but we'll find out what was said in that meeting. So we're standing by to see the outcome of that meeting on Wednesday coming with the Secretary of State for the United States, Mr. Marco Rubio. We'll be meeting with Jamaica's Prime Minister, Mr. Andrew Michael Holness. We're standing by to rejoin Conrad O'Brien on the News Talk 93 FM talk show, Straight Up. We're simulcasting with them this morning. But I interrupt this program to bring you an item of news that is coming into us.
This is Make We Talk Breaking News. This is Make We Talk Breaking News.
Monday to Thursdays at 6 in the evening.
We're standing by to join News Talk 93 FM with Conrad O'Brien on Straight Up. As soon as you're ready for us, we go live to Conrad O'Brien.
462-0999 and go follow us on Instagram at
So as soon as he's ready for us, we go live to News Talk 93 FM.
The following hour is brought to you by Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Wellington.
We're standing by to join him as soon as he's ready for us. We will go live to Conrad O'Brien on News Talk 93 FM.
Welcome back to Straight Up right here in News Talk 93 FM. It's a very thick news morning right here in Jamaica. We're coming to you live from the studios of News Talk here at UWI Mono, also simulcasting with our friends at Fit FM, fitfmja.com, and also the Wayne Hall Network, and indeed Caribbean Vibes Radio. Stick and stay with me up until 12 midday. We have our guest Colin Bell holding on to come to you, Colin. Just a quickie here. Betrayed and broken. Elderly nurse forced to sell house after brutal attack by longtime gardener. And this story is so horrific, I invite you to read it. It's on the front page of the Gleaner. Also on the front page it's saying VAS, government committed to roll out affordable rural school bus system in September. And of course there's also a picture here on the front page of the Gleaner with former senator and former G2K president Warren Newby, who got the nod by way of the delegate vote yesterday for Clarendon Northwestern. So that's one to watch there. Without further ado, let me just officially introduce Colin. Now, Colin Bell, he is a radio host. He also hosts a popular YouTube channel as well called Portland Spice TV. And he is on other outfits as well. Certainly a very popular figure across the both mainstream and social media here in Jamaica. Colin Bell also, I think he is a councillor caretaker at the moment down there, I think the fellowship division in Portland, and his position as well within the People's National Party is deputy spokesman and culture and creative industry. His immediate boss is Dr. Deborah Hicklin on that portfolio. Without further ado, let me welcome Colin this morning. Colin Bell. This morning we'll be talking about looking at both presentation from both leaders, the Prime Minister and indeed the leader of the opposition. Colin, welcome to Straight Up. So how are you doing?
Hey, Conrad, morning to your listeners. I am doing well. God is good, my brother.
Indeed, we're basking His goodness and His glory.
Oh, yes.
Colin.
And He has ordained us to speak the truth and speak it ever. It's what it will.
Absolutely, Colin. And, you know, we have to put it out there. Someone has to bell the cat, as it were. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, if you are not here to make meaningful contribution and to speak the truth, you know, even when it is uncomfortable, then certainly I would have to question you. So that said, Colin, let's start with the PM's presentation, and then we will go on into Mark's presentation, the opposition leader presentation later.
Well, I'm taking the Prime Minister's advice. He said we must choose Jamaica. And I am choosing Jamaica. I have chosen Jamaica.
Good.
And when I listen to the Prime Minister's presentation. I listened for the entire 5 hours and some minutes. I did not move because based on what we do, Obi, we have to listen.
Oh, yes.
And I find some very disturbing things. And before I go into the disturbing one, I want to mention the one that I like. He said something that resonated.
Good, because we want to put that out there as well.
Right. You know, Obi, I'm a farmer.
Yes.
And for a time, I was the largest farmer of broiler chickens in Portland. And I wanted to get...
Dear old fowl.
Right. Concession was offered to me. But they wanted me to buy a pickup. And I did not need a pickup. I need a panel van. Because I carry feeding, I carry chicken meat, and I carry baby chicks. You can't try them in a pickup. You understand? The feeding, yeah, but if it's rain, I live in Portland where it rain a lot.
Yes.
So I needed a panel van, and they would not give me the concession to buy a panel van. So I want to say to the Prime Minister, well done. So now opening up that farmers can get panel van.
Well, we congratulate the PM for that, yes.
Right. So that's the one. That's one of the things that I like. Some of the things that disappoint me now. And, you know, we mustn't play games.
Hold on, Colin. That's the only one that jumps out at you in a positive way?
Well, the housing trust, the slew of things from the housing trust, but I don't put that in it because anything to do with housing trust for me is a PNP legacy.
Yes.
So one of the things that disappoint me, let me go to my area first.
Yes.
I hear the Prime Minister spoke about the culture and the creative industry. And he spoke about the film fund. And I tell you something, Obi, up until the week of that debate,
yes,
our information is that nobody had really gotten any money from the film fund. I heard him saying that.
You mean that announcement that was made by Nigel Clark from last year?
Right, that $1 billion up until the week going into that budget presentation. Our information is that nobody got $1 from that film fund.
Wow.
Now, the Prime Minister said different, so I might be wrong on that, just based on our information. But when I listened to the Prime Minister, when he said that...
That's one that we need to probe.
Right, he said that there's a call on the government to come up with funding for the culture and the creative industry.
Yes.
And he mentioned the film fund. But the Prime Minister went on to say that the government has to now look back at their policy, because when you put that kind of money into entertainment and into film or the culture and the creative industry, you have to know that you're going to get back value for money. Now, what that tells me is that the Prime Minister and the Cabinet entertainment and into film or the culture and the creative industry, you have to know that you're going to get back value for money. Now, what that tells me is that the Prime Minister and the Cabinet do not answer the creative industry talk. Because what they are basically doing, in my view, is just saying something because something needs to be said about this.
But they don't fully understand.
They don't know the details. And I'm not afraid to say it. Him say, I'm the best baby father for ideas. So I'm just hear an idea and I'm grabbing on to it. No.
But Colin, stick up in there. What is inherently wrong? And I want you to explain to our listeners, what is inherently wrong with what the PM said, that he don't know how, paraphrasing, but how we're going to make money from this industry or whatever? How did he phrase it,
Right. Well, what he's saying is that they must go look now and see, with all this money that they're going to put into it, how they're going to get value for the money. Now, when you're pumping money into the culture and the creative industry, from our side, from the PNP side, it is an investment. It is not a gift. We are investing in an industry to grow the industry so that the country can benefit. Other countries around the world are benefiting immensely from this industry. In fact, countries around the world now are using this industry to grow their economy because this is where it is at. If you really want to provide high-paying jobs, value-added jobs, it is in this industry that you're going to find this. Or be just a man who uses a video camera on a movie set. The smallest you're going to earn is like maybe 50,000 Jamaican dollars for the day.
For the day?
That's the cameraman, brother. The man who holds the boom mic might be earning about $35,000 for the day.
Okay.
An average actor, no name, just playing a role, you will easily earn 1,500 US for the day. And your day might be 2 hours, might be an hour. You understand?
Depends on your role.
Depends on your role. So these are high-paying jobs, but based on what the Prime Minister said, and you could look at his face when he was saying it, he was very concerned. How we're going to get returns from these monies that we are pumping into this industry. So I was very disappointed in his piece on that.
Colin, obviously you're the deputy shadow spokesperson. It seems to all of us who listen to you that you have done your homework. You seem to understand this industry in a big way. Are you saying that based on what
I've worked in this industry all my life?
Good. Are you saying that based on what you're picking up from the Prime Minister, gleaning from the Prime Minister, it seems as if he himself don't understand it and he doesn't have a team who understand it?
Obviously not. They don't have a team who understand it because for 9 years they have been in power. And if you realize now, even the entertainment zone issue, Fort Rocky, they're just forcing to get that done now because an election is in the air.
And destroying a lot of the heritage there. Of course, the environmental people are up in arms there. The MP for the year, the councillor, they are not happy with what has taken place there either. So you find that you're just getting something there for the election, eh?
It's a nice place, Conrad. Our team has visited, and it is somewhere that I think, yes, an entertainment zone could be there if you do it the right way, protect the environment, and protect the heritage site. But it wouldn't be a large entertainment zone based on what we saw there. But you could have a nice medium-sized entertainment zone there. But back to the whole thing, Conrad, the entire GLP team, and with all due respect to Babsy, I think the culture and the creative industry has gone past her level. Really.
Okay.
And I just want to add this. I heard her this morning in a news clip. She was asked about the procurement for the laying of the track at the stadium. And she really disrespected my friend Wavy Lines by saying that Wavy Lines, she knows Wavy Lines as a cricketer, what Wavy Lines know about track. And I just like to say to Babsy, Wavy Lines played sports at the highest level.
Yes.
The highest level. And what the sports that Wavy Lines played really have to do with surfaces.
Absolutely.
And
the cricket pitch and so on.
And as she said, Wavy Lines plays cricket. I don't know if Babsy ever played jacks.
Well,
And she still didn't answer the question. But back to the Prime Minister, Conrad.
Yes.
Also on crime. I hear the Prime Minister now trying to predict that we're going to have under 1,000 murders for this year if we continue the same way.
Yes.
Conrad, I have crunched the murder numbers for this Prime Minister because you would remember that the Prime Minister promised us that we could sleep with our doors and our windows open.
Yes.
If we voted for him. I didn't vote for him, but people voted for him and people were expecting that.
Yes. He is indeed the Prime Minister.
I would say to the Prime Minister that based on your numbers, Mr. Prime Minister, your annual average is 1,384 murders for the 9 years that you've been in power. So it would be really a drastic move and a welcome move if we can get murders under $1,000, under 1,000 any year.
Colin, don't move from there, Colin, because it's important that we put some things into context because the JLP and operatives within the media. Some people say they are surrogates of the JLP and so on. I'm not going there, but just to say that, you know, one person in particular dubbed PJ Patterson as the murder prime minister. You have the breakout of the figures there, Colin. Share with us what would be the average on the PJ for the 14 years and what is Holness average.
All right, so Conrad, if you're going to call a prime minister the murder prime minister, it must be this present prime minister. PJ served as prime minister for 14 years, and a total of 13,710 Jamaicans was murdered under his watch.
13,710.
13,710.
Listeners, hold on, Colin. Listeners, we're giving you, not speaking from the seat of our pants, we're giving you hard numbers. Listen to it. Yeah. This is the place that you come to get the facts, not just breber. All right, go ahead, Colin.
Right, so 13,710 Jamaicans was murdered while PJ Patterson was prime minister for 14 years. That's an average of 979 persons per year when you work out the average.
Give me the average again?
979 per year. Now, under Andrew Holness, he has been prime minister for 9 years. We're not counting this year. 12,456 Jamaicans were murdered after the promise of sleeping with your windows and your door open. If you divide that 12,456 by 9, it is 1,384 Jamaicans murdered each year.
1,384. 1,384.
That is the average.
My goodness.
But Conrad, I want to tell you something. If had Bruce Golding to that and said that, all right, we are going to look at Bruce Golding and Andrew Holness, because remember, Andrew was also prime minister during that period under Bruce Golding. Right? Now, I'm going to tell you for that 14 years how much people was murdered. For the 14 years, Andrew Holness and Bruce Golding is 19,864 persons murdered.
19,864
Jamaicans
864.
And if you average that out, it is 1,418 people murdered each year.
Wow.
So when we talk
so if you should compare that 14 years, the
PJ 14
to PJ 14.
Chalk to cheese, brother.
You see, Colin, and this is what we pride ourselves on. We want to inform, to educate, not to spread propaganda. And that is why we are going through this painstaking measure to really and truly put things out there. As I said before, you know, you have youngsters, you have people who are listening, who want to know, not just interested in political propaganda and so on, but want to know the real facts. Continue, Colin.
Yeah, man. So, therefore, you could never look at all the prime ministers in Jamaica and say that PJ would be the prime minister with the worst figures. In fact, if you look at a single prime minister with the worst figures, it would be Bruce Golding. Because in Bruce Golding 5 years, let me look back on Bruce Golding 5 years. Bruce Golding for 5 years had 7,408 persons murdered in his 5 years. So
wow!
That's an average.
Wow! And you know, Colin, let us pause. Let us pause to quickly just to say to, you know, our brothers and sisters who have lost loved one to murder. You know, we know your pain. We know that, you know, it may be a long time, but certainly these wounds still continue to be fresh in the mind. I lost a brother among those number, and you know, it still continues to be very fresh in my mind.
So when we look at it, Conrad, look at all the murders. The Prime Minister has failed in all the promises that he has made to us. Promise of So, when we look at it, Conrad, look at all the murders. The Prime Minister has failed in all the promises that he has made to us. Promise of fixed election date. The promise of and Tobago.
Yes.
Really going hard. I said that we need to leave the Privy Council.
Yeah, I heard Keith Rowley.
So for me, the Prime Minister's presentation was a lot of fluff, a lot of hype, a lot of speaking to his people, and a lot of creating his own narrative. Because when you look at the economic sector, that he said 15-year-old fiscal discipline is not the child of the PNP. No, the fiscal discipline child that he speaks of is not 15 years old. It's 13 years old. Now, I'll tell the people of Jamaica that Bruce Golding did meet the mother. But Bruce Golding met the mother in 2010. And she left him in 2011. So in Jamaican terms, you'd say never get none. Peter Phillips and Portia Simpson Miller re-engaged the mother in 2013. And that was when she got pregnant. That was when we got the deal from the IMF and started taking care of that child. So when it comes to the child fiscal discipline, 13-year-old child, 99.9%, that's a PNP baby.
It would seem so to me, Colin. It would seem so to me, Colin. Also, speak to us, Colin, about the. All right, hold on, Colin. Hold. We're going to take a break and come back to you, please. We are 10:30.
Our first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to fix the date for general elections in Jamaica. So no government will be able to come and make false promises and hide the truth and tell you half truths and trick you into voting for them, and then when them win, them throw on poison for you.
100 days. The fixed election date, still await for the promise to fulfill. One broken promise after another. Laughable, as we say. None of your promises are fulfilled yet, boss. So there you are.
Within the first 100 days of our government, we will start the legislative process to institute impeachment proceedings in Parliament. This will add another layer of protection of the Parliament to ensure that only members of unquestioned integrity sit in the Parliament.
All ministers under the new Jamaica Labour Party government will be given a job letter. That job letter has a timeline of 2 years and 6 months, with key performance targets which are agreed upon by the Cabinet, focused on two things: economic growth and job creation.
Andrew, you need to do what you said from 2016. You say you're going to put it on paper. So anything you put on paper, the MP have to work with it. So you need to do it now. Because I feel like, say, when you do that, the MP will do them work. And we will see work done in the community.
Within the first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to introduce term limits on the office of Prime Minister.
Andrew Holness, John him breaking promise and nothing him say I'm gonna do, you know, for the next 100 days and now him not do nothing. Him not keep no promise and him say I'm the promise keeper. What a promise, John Star.
At a convenient time within our new government, we will hold a grand referendum on the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Justice, as the final appellate court.
You make so much promise for us. Look how long you're in there. Nothing done. All for the COVID. They promised the people them $25,000. Nothing done. Huh? So what you expect me to do? Tell me if you sleep with the door and window open and nothing done.
Last year, Jamaica embarked upon a formal process of constitutional reform. The people were excluded from the design of the process, and the people did not trust it. The PNP is very clear on our positions on points of principle. Our representatives on the committee that they established did not sign the report of that committee because we did not agree and we do not agree with some of its recommendations. And I will share some of those issues with you now.
Welcome back to Straight Up right here in News Talk 93 FM. My name is Conrad O'Brien, the fireman. We go up until 12 midday. It's now 10:34. We have our guest online, Colin Bell, but we're also streaming live on Fit FM, 96.7 FM Caribbean Vibes Radio, and indeed the Wayne Hall Network. We're also up on Make We Talk YouTube channel. There, hi to Jeffrey Tavares, and indeed we just got a breaking story courtesy of Make We Talk channel, stating that there was a running gun battle in the Mullines Road area. You know, don't know about, we don't get the number of person who may have succumbed to injury or if at all in that shooting just now, but we continue to track that story there. Stick and stay with us. Let me get back to Colin. Hi Colin, thanks for holding.
Yeah man,
Yes, Colin. So we are looking at the Prime Minister's presentation. Colin was talking about crime. Colin, let us quickly try and get through a couple of things in the interest of time.
One thing I wanted to touch on, Conrad, is that what he said down at the end, minimum wage.
Yeah. But before you go there, Colin, I want to just put two things here. Keep the minimum wage there. What about did you hear anything from the PM as it relates to things that can move us from a low growth economy to a high growth and from a low tech to a high tech, as the opposition proposed that they will be doing? Did you hear anything jump out at you on that?
We spoke about the culture and the creative industry. That definitely can move us. But then, as I said earlier, what he said in the middle of it tell me that they didn't really understand it.
So I understand
it. It was just putting something that in here somewhere in it. But that definitely can move us from the low growth and the low income and low tech as well.
So outside of that, nothing. Let's move quickly to the minimum wage situation. The Prime Minister said that he's putting a mere $1,000 on it, moving from 15 to 16,000. Talk to us about that, Colin.
I have concerns about that, Conrad, and we heard the trade union this morning.
Yes, trade union boss Vincent Morrison. Yes,
that he should withdraw that and allow the commission to determine the increase, because that's a mere 6% increase. But what I want to open people's eyes to, Conrad,
yes,
is in 2016, minimum wage was $6,500. In 2025 now, it is going to be $16,000. The question I want to ask is $16,000 now more than $6,500 then? And I'm going to show you something very quick and simple, Conrad. in 2016, 2015, 2016, a pound of chicken meat
yes,
was between $80 and $120.
Depends on where you shop, yes?
Right. So let's use $100. At $100, $6,500 could buy you 65 pounds of chicken. Presently, a pound of chicken meat
yes,
is between $350 and $420. I am going to use the lower one. I'm going to use the $350. So it's anywhere between $350 and $420.
Well, use the three. You're using the lower figure.
$350.
Reasonable.
$350 a pound. $16,000 can only buy 45 pounds of chicken.
Versus how much in 2016? In
2016, $6,500 could buy you 65 pounds. If we use the middle figure, we're not using the lowest figure. Chicken meat in 2016 was between $80 and $120. Right? So if you use the $100, it's 65 pounds. We're using the lowest one now, $350. It can only buy 45 pounds.
Wow.
So let that soak in the value of money and what inflation has done to us.
Indeed, Colin, it is good that you had gone there, because most Jamaica, if not all Jamaica, can basically resonate with this example, because chicken is really something that 99 or 98, 99% of us Jamaicans, very, very important.
Right,
so you're saying that
$6,500 add more value than what the $16,000 have now.
Let that sink in, Prime Minister.
Make that sink in. So, all I was saying, because I see some people on social media and I say, see the $16,000 minimum wage. But we need to look at the value of
it is really an insult and an affront to average people, Colin, the people who are at the bottom.
Conrad,
yes.
We have a brethren. Him now saw 100 in terms I meant, in terms I mental. And a man, him do some work for a man. And the man say, what you want me to give? I want to give you 100 years or you want me to give you 10,000 Jamaican? You know him take the 10,000 Jamaican, right?
I can understand.
It's 10,000, you know, brother.
Yes.
So say I give me 100 US. But you never think that the 100 US is 15,000 or 16,000 Jamaican.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
People know who head over heels for the $16,000. The 6,500 add more value, add more purchasing power than the 16,000 now, my brother.
Absolutely, Colin, and that's important. And this is how we have to look at these things, to take our people with us, because while the people are feeling the pangs of hell. So, Colin, when you look at all of those things, you said the Prime Minister did not bring much. He basically came with a lot of things that he said before, even. He talked about things that they will be doing and so on after being at the helm for 9 years. In terms of marketing,
the presentation that he made about pivot, that's what he came back with actually. So the Prime Minister is searching. You ever hear a man search for a hit tune? The Prime Minister search for a dub, but he not find a dub.
All right.
He lacks the creativity.
All right. So, Colin, as we wind down on the Prime Minister, you know that when you're in school, the important thing is that you spent a time there, but you always have to do a exit test or so on.
Right.
In terms of marking the Prime Minister, out of 10, 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how would you score the PM presentation?
See, I start everybody at 10 in a Conrad. I start everybody at 10. And the Prime Minister lose marks for bad information. Either him not know or he was deliberate in giving bad information. He lose a lot of marks for the length of time that it took to make the presentation. There's a man that says if you stay too long in a performance, you spoil the performance. The Prime Minister stayed too long. But also, when we were learning broadcasting, they told us in a journalism class that anybody takes too long to answer a question, they are not sure about what they are saying, they are not confident. And that 5 hours tell me a story. So,
and also the proverbial saying, read between the lines, eh?
Yeah, out of 10, I would give the Prime Minister a 3.
A 3. All right, you mark him up. You mark him up 0.5% above me. I gave him 2.5.
He mentioned some of the things that they would have done, you know, and yeah, because they have done some work. You can't say them not do nothing.
Absolutely, it will be disingenuous to say they have done work.
Like the urban center out at Marant Bay.
Yes.
Really like it. I don't know if you have gone out there and see it yourself, but trust me, it look good. But I just want to warn the Prime Minister that we don't need that in Port Antonio. What we need in Port Antonio is the development of the East Harbour, because that urban center will not bring any new jobs or any new money to Portland. What we need is the development of the East Harbour to accommodate mega liners into Port Antonio that we can start.
Indeed, Colin. All right, time is up on me, Colin. So let's pivot in this case. Let's move to the opposition leader. You know, the opposition leader, certainly, he has the advantage in terms of he has never been given a turn of the wicket. He is coming fresh. You know, one could say basically you're talking about also a man who has his thing certified, is finance certified, as against one who doesn't. So all of those things, Mr. Golden is coming from the integrity standpoint above wholeness, you know, he's coming in above him, and that certainly is entering the race ahead of him in that regard. Speak to us as to those things that you think that the opposition leader put forward that could be a game changer for the Jamaican economy and the people.
All right, 2 main things, Conrad. Energy. Because if we don't fix the energy problem that we have in this country, it is going to be difficult to compete in most sectors.
Yes.
And the opposition leader spoke about energy, and that was in tandem with the opposition spokesman on finance. And of course, bringing the level of renewable that we need in this country so that we can cut our energy bill. I strongly believe that none of our schools should be using the grid during the daytime. When we have this level of sun and we have these large schools with a whole heap of space on the top, hospitals, government buildings, and that's something that the PNP had started, you know.
Yes.
So energy was one of the things that
jumped out at you in a big way. And Colin, as we talk about context again, it is very important because we have this thing about do it before and can do it again. The truth is that when the PNP leave office, the price of electricity was between 16 to 24 cents US per hour. Per kilowatt hour, and what we have now is 44 US cents.
Sometimes even up to 50 cents.
Sometimes up to 50 cents. So it goes to show that, you know, certainly Philip Paulwell and the PNP, they have a track record that they are going to the people with.
Energy,
with energy.
So the next thing now, Conrad, is the focus on education. What we are going to do with education, because education is the long-term solution both to economic growth and crime.
Yes.
Education is the long-term solution. So he spoke extensively on that. But I want to come back now to the culture and the creative industry, where he also made commitments. Julian made a $1 billion fund, and that fund is the beginning, Obi. That's not the ending. That's not even really. That's the start of the beginning.
Scratching the surface, so to speak.
Right, that's the start of the beginning, because what we're saying to content creators now and people in the industry, get yourself ready. Because that fund, even if you want to go to school to do courses in videography, sound engineering, screenwriting, stuff like that, that fund is available to you. That fund is available if you want to set up a film studio. That fund is available if you want to buy cameras. That fund is available if you want to do a business plan for the culture and the creative industry.
Okay.
Because as the opposition leader said that, we are going to do all that is necessary to grow that industry. And what is necessary, Conrad, is a whole heap of billions of dollars. Because what Jamaica needs to do is to build out a platform to export culture. And that's why you hear Julian spoke about it, the preparation of exporting from the creative industry.
Two other quick things, Colin, in the interest of time. The PM also, the opposition leader also talked about the health sector, and he also talked about agriculture. You know how
well,
so twin those two for me.
You mentioned agriculture because that is one of the big ones. And what the opposition leader said is that we are going to cut our food importation bill by 25% in our first term. Now that is massive, because there was an agreement in the Caribbean, you know, for the Caribbean to cut food importation bill by 25% ending 2025.
Wow.
Our administration, this present administration, missed that totally. And any country that is not focusing on feeding themselves in this time, we are done. And I am going to say it, Conrad, that this administration has missed it. They are a set of, listen,
all right,
when COVID came around, Conrad, we saw it clear. Food stopped coming to the country. A container that you used to pay $2,000 for rent that cost $20,000 US.
Yes, and that drove the thing through the roof.
Getting
Yes.
food from overseas. Now you tell me what more this government needed to see to realize that we must invest in agriculture. I made a post in April 2020, you know, on Facebook. It's still there.
Yes.
That the government should invest $1.4 billion in agriculture immediately to shore up our food security. We did no such thing. And here we are now with our food importation bill at 1.6 billion US.
We
1.6 billion more than all our export.
Absolutely, Colin. We're also
1.6 billion too.
Good. We were also reminded by the opposition leader, PNP President Mark Golden, that we were self-sufficient in onion and Irish potato and onion and so on under Roger Clark. He's saying that the PNP is basically drawing a line in the sand and making a vow that they will get back there.
Yes. And just like how the fund is created for the culture and the creative industry, an agriculture fund must be created, because every developed country in a Conrad subsidize their farmers.
Yes, and spokesperson agriculture data and speak, and that, you know, he talk that.
That agriculture fund is critical to ensure that our farmers produce. We must ensure that our farmers get all the assistance. So that's why I hear the opposition leader say farmers trade health is coming, because we are going to be assisting the farmers to ensure that they produce food.
Good. Give me health, Colin. How did you score the Prime Minister, the opposition leader in health?
The opposition leader, I scored him heavy in health, because one of the things that, if you realize the opposition leader is doing, he is placing people with the technical know-how in certain areas. So Dr. Alfred Dawes is in health, and I don't know if you realize when Steve McGregor?
Yes.
When Steve McGregor came in, the opposition leader said this increase his options, because we want to put people in position who have an idea of what is happening there. Not like what we have now with a health minister who told us in 2016 it would cost us $2.2 billion to refurbish Cornwall Hospital, Cornwall Regional. And 9 years into it, we are still working on Cornwall Regional, and now we are at $20 billion. I can speak on this without any fear of contradiction, Conrad, because in 2016, the minister got two opinions. One was to lick it down and build a new hospital, and one was to refurbish. And I went out on a limb on radio and said, you must lick it down. You can't refurbish, because any building you're refurbishing, you're not sure what you're going to buck up on when you start strip it. And so said, so done.
Good. Colin, I want a 30-second on this because I have to leave you. My lines are burning. Now, Colin, the opposition leader talk about something that really underpin everything. It underpin how we can grow in terms of a society and, basically deal with each other one to another. And that is the whole business of values and attitude. He talked about he will take that out of the realm of the politics and so on. The church and other bodies will be allowed to coordinate and to push that forward. I thought that was a biggie, Colin.
You're talking about the 5th E, ethics. We have lost our moral compass in this country. And therefore, Bruce Golden actually apologized for his take when P.J. Patterson brought in this whole...
Yes, he did. Bruce did apologize to say, sorry, did not support it. And
opposition leader Mark Golden looked at it and realized that, hey, the best thing to do is take it out of the political realm. Because we have to lift our moral standard. We have to now deal with integrity. We can't just sit down and make our ethics and our moral standard just drop down to ground like that. Now, Conrad, there's one thing I want to say before you go. The opposition leader also spoke about government bureaucracy.
Yes.
And he said that he would take it on.
And chair that committee.
I have faith in him taking it on. Most of our politicians are career politicians. Mark Golden is coming out of business and coming into politics, running business, being the brains behind the business. And he's saying that I know the issues that business people face in Jamaica. So right now, I am going to take on that. I'm not going to take on 30 ministry like this present Prime Minister. But in terms of the bureaucracy, he's going to be dealing with that so business can thrive.
And let's get it straight. It's not something that he would basically just go and put and say, listen, I'm cutting this just like that. He's talked about a committee looking at everything that he would share. All right?
And how we're going to
good. Colin, give me the score. Give me the scorecard, please, and Mark Golden.
The scorecard on Mark Golden, I scored Julian at 8, I scored Mark Golden at 9.
All right. Thanks a lot, Colin. That's Colin Bell there. Radio host, political commentator, also the spokesperson and the creative, culture and creative industry for the People's National Party. He is the shadow deputy spokesperson. All right, so much things they have to crunch these things. All right, Colin, thanks a lot. Blessings. All right, so there you have it. There we're opening the phone lines now. Let's see where we are. We have 5 minutes before we go up to 11 o'clock. So if you call in now, you can get a quick bite at the cherry before we close out for the 11 o'clock hours. And then when we come back, we will be opening the 11 to 12 hour. That hour is sponsored by Kenmore Manufacturing Company. Of course, we're in this hour that is sponsored by our friends at Wellington Dental over there at Wellington Street in Spanish Town. Dr. Palmer and her team, they want to say hi and good morning to them this morning. Just to look at some of your comments here and the feed. Elizabeth Bernard is saying that's a good idea, Colin. All right, good. We are seeing here James McKay is saying that he scored the Prime Minister 2%. All right, and Dwight Mason is also there. Anthony Condison is saying the real boss, all right, he's hailing me as a real boss. Jackie Graham, let's see what Jackie is saying here. Jackie Graham is saying, saying that the PM did not talk about corruption, all right? So a lot of things there. Junior Fraser over there in Northeast Manchester, he is weighing in as well. And, I know that Junior has a lot to say. Looking forward to talking to Junior whenever he's ready. All right. As we say, good morning to the people of northeastern Manchester, to Mr. Valentin Wint there. That's one that we are watching there, because don't know what will take place there in Manchester northeastern. Of course, it was opined rather that the man who would have gotten the nod for the Jamaica Labour Party up there would be the councillor for the Cregget division, Mr. Omar Miller. Then, that move. Then we heard of Mikulski's name call. We're also hearing about a businessman called Mr. Murray. At one point we heard even Prophet Rowe name was called, and all of that. So all in all, it seems if there's a spot of bother. One thing we know is that the PNP candidate is done and dusted. That is settled. It's Valentin Wint, Valwint. Let's go to the 11 o'clock break. Suka.
The preceding hour was brought to you by Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Wellington Dental, providing dental care.
Welcome to The Breakdown. I'm Nikisha Burchell, spokesperson for Information and Public Communication. Each week, we cut through the noise and get straight to the facts. What's happening, why it matters, and what's next. Let's jump right into it with headlines that matter. Monday's last May editorial cartoon made one thing clear. This government isn't just desperate, it's downright arrogant. The image featured Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his team declaring, "We will not surrender Jamaica to the PNP. We must not allow the PNP to return to power," they said. It's the perfect reflection of the entitlement and the authoritarian streak we've seen from this administration. You see, somewhere along the way, Andrew Holness seems to have forgotten something very important. He works for the people. The people put you in, and when the time comes, they will take you out. And since we're talking about elections and decisions and who will decide the outcome, let's take a moment to revisit some of the big promises Andrew Holness made to Jamaicans when he first took office in 2016. Promises he claimed he would deliver within his first 100 days. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. We're still waiting.
Within our first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to fix the date for general elections in Jamaica. So no government.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, people. People have been calling this telephone number for the program. I'm pretty much sure it reads, looking for life insurance with living benefits in the state of Florida, contact Garfield Reed. It never said call this number for the program. Please do not call this number for the Make We Talk program. This is an advertisement running across the screen. It says, looking for life insurance with living benefits in the state of Florida, contact Garfield Reed at 754-204-2498. It never said you must call this number for the program. I'm pretty much sure when I put up the number for call for the program, I put up this number here. That's the number for the call for the program. And it says, Make We Talk Live, call into the show 954. That's what I put up. You know? So whenever you're calling, this run across the screen down here. This one, it run across the screen. It said, looking for life insurance with living benefits in the state of Florida, contact Garfield Reed XQYZ. Please do not call this number unless you're looking for life insurance with the living benefits in the state of Florida. That is not the Mequitort number. The Mequitort number is this number here. All right? Thank you all very much. We're going to go back to Conrad O'Brien in just a moment for his program. We're going to go back to Conrad O'Brien in just a moment for his program as he is taking a quick commercial break. It is now 11:03 in Jamaica. Let's see if Conrad is ready for us. No, he's not. Let me go back here. Just letting you know that running across the screen there, that is the telephone number to call if you need life insurance with living benefits in the state of Florida. Okay? That is to call Garfield Reed if you need life insurance in the state of Florida. The only time I put up the telephone number for the program is when I'm going to accept calls. If I'm not going to accept any calls, I do not put up the number. So please, students, do not call Mr. Reed unless you need life insurance if you live in the state of Florida and you need life insurance with living benefits. It's an advertisement running across the screen, all right? Thank you very much. Let's go back to see if Conrad O'Brien is ready for us, or we're just going to take a quick break with him. Yes, let's take a quick break with him. Let's run some of these ads we have here. Some of these things we have here.
Welcome to The Breakdown. I'm Nikisha Burchell, spokesperson for Information and Public Communication. Each week, we cut through the noise and get straight to the facts. What's happening, why it matters, and what's next. Let's jump right into it with headlines that matter. Monday's last May editorial cartoon made one thing clear. This government isn't just desperate, it's downright arrogant. The image featured Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his team declaring, "We will not surrender Jamaica to the PNP. We must not allow the PNP to return to power," they said. It's the perfect reflection of the entitlement and the authoritarian streak we've seen from this administration. You see, somewhere along the way, Andrew Holness seems to have forgotten something very important. He works for the people. The people put you in, and when the time comes, they will take you out. And since we're talking about elections and decisions and who will decide the outcome, let's take a moment to revisit some of the big promises Andrew Holness made to Jamaicans when he first took office in 2016. Promises he claimed he would deliver within his first 100 days. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. We're still waiting.
Within our first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to fix the date for general elections in Jamaica. So no government will be able to come and make false promises and hide the truth and tell you half-truths and trick you into voting for them, and then when them win, them throw on poison for you.
And here we are, 8 years later, still waiting on Andrew Holness to decide when the next election will be called. The irony.
Within the first 100 days of our government, we will start the legislative process to institute, and I want you to listen to me carefully, impeachment proceedings in Parliament. This will add another layer of protection of the Parliament to ensure that only members of unquestioned integrity sit in the Parliament.
And yet, when the opposition leader Mark Golding tabled an impeachment bill in 2021, the Prime Minister has ignored it ever since. I wonder why.
Within the first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to introduce term limits on the office of Prime Minister.
No, this one is rich. The same man who promised term limits is now the same man demanding a third term. Make it make sense.
At a convenient time within our new government, we will hold a grand referendum on the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Justice, as the final appellate court.
But guess what? That grand referendum is still nowhere in sight. Meanwhile, ordinary Jamaicans like me and you are struggling to afford justice at the UK Privy Council. We can't afford it. So I have to ask, who really has Jamaica's best interest at heart? Who wants us to unplug from the monarchy? Now it's time for what's to come. This week, all eyes were on opposition leader Mark Golding as he delivered a stellar, visionary budget presentation. Mark Golding gave his best budget presentation to date, and the comments are coming in. People really found a connection, something to hold on to.
As the article said, Donald Trump's plan for American control of Ukraine or Earth elements, and it is saying that, you know, Jamaican government should take note of this and to ensure that we basically put the relevant legislation framework into place to protect our rare earth mineral and indeed red mud. You know, when you drive across the Manchester there, you know, you look over Kirkvine, the former Alcon Kirkvine plant there, there's a massive area there with red mud and rare mineral. I remember some time ago when Philip Paulwell was the minister in charge of, you know, that area, there was a discussion going on that. Also, the paper I shared with you earlier, where the runoff with Newby there, where he emerged as the winner by way of sports. We're seeing if there's an article here in the Gleaner that said if it happens, it happens, and it talk about Ricketts not in a rush over CFU presidency. He focused on development. So Jamaica Football Federation, JFF President Michael Ricketts, who was re-elected unopposed as Vice President of the Caribbean Football Union at the 48th Ordinary Congress last Sunday at the Royalton Hotel in St. Lucia, hopes to lead the region football one day, but he is not in a rush. We commend those to you. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, welcome caller.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing, sir? In St. Lucia, hopes to lead the region football one day, but he is not in a rush. We commend those to you. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, welcome caller.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Yes, Conrad, man. First time Mark Golding put out a lot of things. He mentioned a lot of things that if he gets the reign of power would come into effect.
Yes.
But one thing he missed out on, one of the main things, and the people out here, Brother Conrad, they are saying that they didn't hear any price tag from the opposition leader, which that when we talk about budget, you know, we have a home. When we mention about budget, we have to know we're spending. You know, where the money is coming from to buy a pair of shoes, and those little things. If we want to look more food, you understand how we're earning and how we're going to spend. So that was missing. Would you agree with me?
All right, let's put things in perspective. First of all, you have a budget, an existing budget. There's what is called discretionary spending in the budget. That means that there's a certain amount of funding there that whoever formed the government, they have the wherewithal to maneuver. You also have to bear in mind that there are a number of things that is said by the present government that they will do. That also has a price tag to it. Therefore, the Mark Golding is not going to necessarily come into government to pursue the policies of the Jamaica Labour Party. They would be pursuing the policies that he had actually talked about. So the money, the same money, unless you plan to basically take away the consolidated fund, and no consolidated fund will be there. Money will be indeed be there. It's how you realign and allocate funding. So it's a kind of nonsense argument, really.
No, my brother. Come, let us. Isaiah 1:18 said, come, let us reason, say the Lord. So listen to me now, my brother.
Yes.
You know, I've been watching both the presentations and way back.
No, I'm not saying that you're talking nonsense, you know. I'm saying that no man, I wouldn't disrespect it to say you're talking nonsense. I'm saying to you that the whole scenario as to where the money will come from, because people who are asking these questions indeed know that what you have is whenever you have a government change, the policies, because remember now, you know, that all that Mr. Holness and the JLP are saying that they will be doing, is there's a price tag to it, you know. Mark Golding put his agenda forward, and there's also will be a price tag to it.
Yes, my brother, but look now, that's why I said come let us reason. I don't know, you know, because
go ahead.
Me and you know.
Yes.
And you are bigger senior man to me. And over the years, government changes, and we've been hearing, money come. There's no money left in the consolidated fund that you mentioned. We normally hear that, you know, my brother. So this is why people fear when it comes on to change government, because they're going to say, we're going right back, because what the incoming government is going to say. When they get here, there's no money, and they thought there was money to do X, Y, Z. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but with respect, it's there's a kind of difference, because remember you have an ongoing forecasting, so you know exactly what's the lay of the land. It's just a matter of realigning. But I take your general point, what you're saying.
Yes. My next thing now, Mark Golding said,
yes.
Among other things, they want to move the minimum wage to a livable wage. Right?
Yes.
You remember that?
Absolutely. Yes, I do, and I support that.
No, we can't support that, my brother.
Why not?
Come, we have a reason. Isaiah said, come let us reason.
Yeah, man.
So, when him saying gonna move a minimum wage to a livable wage, what would you describe as a livable wage? Because my livable wage can be different from yours.
Good. And that is why when you deal with these things, you don't just, as we said in economic terms, I say, you just don't talk from the seat of your pants. You look at things and you get committee, and Mark did not say he's going to move it. What he said is that's a trajectory that they're looking at. They want to move from what is a minimum wage to look at a livable wage, and he talked about a committee that they would put together to look at it, to see what you determine as a livable wage. Because remember now, when you talk about these things, a livable wage is not that you say, boy, a livable wage for Conrad is so and a livable wage for Fox is so. You look at the overall. So that's what you that's why you have average, and that's why a livable wage. Because remember now, when you talk about these things, a livable wage is not that you say, boy, a livable wage for Conrad is so and a livable wage for Fox is so. You look at the overall. So that's what you that's why you have average, and that's why you look at big numbers. So what you 14 years as against his 9 years. So you use the average now. So that's when you would come out with your livable wage, because we know that people have different tastes. Some people will tell you that, listen.
Exactly. So when I hear that, I wonder what Mark is saying. Because how can he just say a livable wage?
No, man. never hear him properly. He said he would put a you have 2 minutes, Fox. I want to have a lot of callers. Go ahead.
Yes, we couldn't put a price tag on it. So the last thing before I go, about 30 seconds or so.
No problem, Fox. Go ahead.
You know the GLP is likely is going to win but this general election, and I'm going to tell you why in a short term.
Go ahead.
Coming in 2016, all we hear about Andrew House and Andrew this, while Andrew Wallace was working in the background, working his way up to get the job as Prime Minister. 2020, all we hear is of corruption and crime, because you remember at CMU this big corruption in 2018 come down with, you understand? And how we hear from the PNP, this is what I am saying, you know. So the PNP was there, corruption and crime, and in the end, they talk about sweep them out and no messaging. No, this election, I'm going to make a comment. Now this election is right around the corner, probably about a couple of months on the lane. And how we hearing? We hear about the Integrity Commission, we hear about more money, we hear about this, and we hear about stuff. You understand? To one point where the PNP was saying that they are not going to steal them plans because they're afraid the GLP might steal it, which is stupidness, my brethren. You understand? All
right, Fox. I'm going to have to leave, but I'm going to comment something to you.
Yes.
Go and listen to Julian's presentation and Mark Golden's presentation last week, and I'm sure you'll have a change of heart because they have put out a raft of things out there. Have to leave you. I have to leave you, and thanks for calling, Fox. All the best. Yeah, man, blessings. Good. That's Fox there, and certainly we are always happy to hear from everyone. Fox have some viewpoint there, and I'm sure others do have as well. Hello, welcome, caller.
Hi, morning, Conrad. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing, pensioner?
I'm doing great.
Nice to have you.
On the budget presentation, but before I do so, the Speaker of the House, Mrs. Tony, realized that for the two presentations done by the leader of the opposition and the opposition spokesman and finance,
yes,
was still in action. I am not sure if it was deliberate or it was coincidental, but it doesn't look good.
You're not the only one who is looking at that. I also, take note of it and so on, and one wonders why. As you say, you don't know if it's deliberate or what, but certainly it doesn't come across very well.
Yes, and read the presentation from Mr. Golden. There are a few things I agree with. As a matter of fact, it was the first time since Omar Davis was finance minister that I sat down for 2.5 hours listening to a presentation. It was very inspiring. It was very refreshing. And I see where there's a lot of hope in that presentation, because the thing that caught my attention is the $500,000 down payment.
Yes.
For persons who are below age 35 and who have been contributing to the NHC for 2 years. That's a step in the right direction.
And that 500,000 too will also be available to persons who may be over 35 but find themselves with need to assist in their down payment. I think that can be a game changer.
Yes, and also the moratorium, the 3-month moratorium.
Yes.
It is something that I endorse as a credit officer, because oftentimes people, when they purchase houses, they're not able to purchase things such as furniture. They might have some additional expenses that they want to cover before they start the mortgage. So that is in a step in the right
direction.
Also including civic in the education curriculum.
Yes, and the teaching of Marcus Garvey.
Yes, I endorse. And the one scholarship per household for university, for persons who are qualified for the university,
yes,
is something I think the country can benefit from as well. And also he said that a country like England, Conrad, what they do is that they take the cream of the crop to become teachers. And he was saying that we need to start looking in that direction, where the brightest minds are taken into the classroom.
Yes.
And finally, the database for land, for housing is something I like, because, it will give us an idea as to where the government plans to put housing infrastructure. So overall, I would grade it 9.5 out of 10. The only thing that I would mark him down for is that he didn't much as it relates to the minimum wage, which I think is an insult, $1,000 increase, Conrad. I know that Mr. Holmes would not give that to his cabinet ministers. It's an insult.
All right, pensioner. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. All right. Blessings. Okay, so, we allow persons to speak and you can make your conclusion. What Mr. Golden said and the minimum wage, he talked about it. He said that the minimum wage is woefully inadequate, and he talked about looking at a livable wage. He talked about put a committee together to deal with that, which I think it's the direction that we need to go. Hello, caller.
Hello, morning.
Hi, morning. How are you doing, comrade?
I'm not bad at all.
Good. How is St. James?
St. James down here, they go along same way, and that one spell a generalship.
All right.
Everywhere look at St. James, is generalship.
Good. We have not been hearing the regular murder numbers coming out of St. James, comrade, and we're happy for that. You're down there. Is it a genuine quell in the numbers, or we're not getting it in the news? What's going on?
It's a genuine quell because remember, daddy down here, and daddy rule.
Okay.
And daddy, and the boys them know say they know obey daddy. Daddy will lick them hot.
All right, so let me just pause to say something here, comrade. And for those persons who are listening, who may have accused me of whatever, I am indeed delighted and happy to know that the number of murders genuinely going down. Very, very happy, and we hope it go down to 0.
And them know say, if daddy talk and listen, daddy will lick them hot. And if daddy lick them too hot and them dead, daddy will provide refreshment for the dead yard and the grave digging.
But daddy was there all along.
And daddy will also daddy have connection to the undertakers. Daddy will give them a nice casket.
Okay.
So they have to they see what daddy is doing elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that the same fate will befall them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you want to say something else, comrade. Go ahead.
The next thing I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
The budget last week. Somebody need to tell the finance minister.
Yes.
Not the finance minister. Sorry, the prime minister, that the best growth under GLP leadership and Amanayard.
Yes.
Because the bright one, what them praise are run gone.
Hold on there, comrade. Apparently the caller is here and pick up what I'm saying to you. It's not you I'm talking to, comrade. The producer will handle that one. Hello, go ahead, comrade.
Yes.
Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the bright one. But when come to go 5 in 4, in decline and run. So that nonsense when they come in, he thinks it's a Murray show, but Patrick, he was not the father. He baby, a stillbirth. Economic baby never born. A stillbirth.
Where so the 5 in 4 never born?
Somebody need to tell him that a stillbirth claim.
All right.
He's claiming. So he must know.
It take you for come up with this, comrade. That's easy,
A stillbirth. Remember when after the PNP won, late 2011, 2012, nearly a year and a half before IMF could have signed off on it.
Yeah, man. I remember like yesterday, and when the Prime Minister was saying, then opposition leader was saying the PNP should sign any deal. Remember?
Yes. So he must know, sir. The baby what him to talk about. I want stillbirth baby. And the best little growth what they enjoy under Manayard because the bright one no grow nothing. So he was talking to his speaking to his audience last week. And everybody a fool. The next thing, son come with the stillbirth baby.
Yes.
Son come with generalship. The intention, as general as he is, the intention good. But you can't have vehicle that 10 year, and 5 year, and 4 year. So if you want to give your taxi man them something, Because a lot of taxi drivers support the GLP. If you want to give them something, make them go pass the vehicle every year, same way, but make it free. Because this 4-year and 3-year and 10-year thing, you know, with them a bad road there what we have. A kill without killer people with the defected vehicles.
Well, I heard from the president of TADS, you know, Mr. Edgerton Newman, and he's not happy with the proposal at all, you know. Maybe I have to engage him to flesh it out some more, but on the face of it, he's saying that he's not happy with the proposal.
That is a death sentence.
And as a gentleman, he was on one of your other stations that you're calling on, RJR, with Earl Maxim yesterday, and he was saying that, you know, it is dangerous.
It can't work. If I vote him, I look in the election year, make sure that him pass it, whatever amendment, but then say, okay, see, next 10 years it's free. Vote him, look, because that a vote him, look, and it can't work.
All right, Conrad, thanks. We're up on the break. Thanks a lot. All right, that's Conrad there out of Montego Bay. Let's go to a final break at the 11th.
Right. Madam Speaker, the other solution I have is that it is time for us to arm the society. Any decent law-abiding citizen with a clean police record, no mental issues or domestic violence conviction should be able to acquire a gun permit within 45 days of applying. Police statistics shows that over the last 10 years, 29 firearm holders have been murdered in Jamaica. 29. In addition, a total of 627 combined major crimes, including shootings, robbery, murder last night, have been committed against firearm holders. Madam Speaker, there are 45,000 licensed firearm holders in Jamaica today with 167,000 guns. But remember that persons have multiple licenses, multiple guns, plus there are security companies and gun clubs. There is an average of 30,000 firearm holders over the last 10-year period. Therefore, some 0.09 or 1% of licensed firearm holders have been murdered over a 10-year period, or an average of 0.01 per year. At 627 combined incidents of crime against firearm holders, it shows that only 2% have been affected by crime over the last 10-year period, or an average of 0.2 per year. The figures clearly show that if you are armed, criminals don't mess with you. The criminals have more advanced weapons than the police in many cases. The police and the army are held at bay for hours sometimes in a shootout. Yet we are calling on law-abiding citizens to join the fight against crime. What must they join with, madam? Them two long hand, two stone and a cutlass.
Call us today at
and what they must do with those. Madam Speaker, the long wait for a license sometimes criminalize the process. Police sources say a used 9mm firearm can be had for $200,000 to $300,000, while the decent law-abiding citizen has to suffer in waiting. It is the long wait sometimes that helps to corrupt the system. We must level the playing field and give the advantage to the law-abiding person. Of course, people will say
1965
hanging, the statistics show, is fit for purpose for Jamaica. It might not work elsewhere, but this 50-year study has clearly shown that hanging keeps murders low in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, Madam Speaker, we should build 4 more gallows. 1 in the west, 1 on the south coast, 1 on the north coast, and 1 in the east.
At 876.
With 5 gallows, most areas will be within 1 hour of one of them. So as the judge pass sentence, straight to the gallows you go. And you must be hung by your neck until you are dead, 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 or until your teeth kill. If we don't want to hang, remove it from the books. But there is a conspiracy of vested interest not to hang, but they are not bold enough to bring that amendment on the floor of this parliament and remove it. If we don't want to hang, take it off the books.
Now, relive the moment.
Until it is removed, let us hang them by the neck until they are dead, dead, dead. We must hang, shoot, inject or electrocute them or remove it from the books.
Voices from the archives.
Comrades, it is a disgraceful blot on this government's record that maternal and child death rates are higher today than they were in 1995. Jamaica is going backwards under this government. Mothers and babies are dying. What happened, Andrew? How come you don't hear the dead babies now?
I hear the spirit of a little baby crying, crying. I hear the spirit of a little baby crying, crying.
The PNP will prioritize the procurement of intensive care units, providing critical care for mothers.
Welcome back to Street Up. My goodness gracious me. A lot of calls are coming in, but let's see how we can navigate. I have a few things to mention in the paper. We're coming to you live from the studio here, and of course we simulcast with our friends, Fit FM, Caribbean Vibes Radio, Renal Network, and indeed the Make We Talk channel is up live as well, carrying us this morning. The Observer is reporting here, invest in teachers, invest in education. JT encouraged to hold government account as teachers exodus continue. And also on the front page of the Observer rather, it's saying children in crisis, child care and protection case dominate children's court welfare listing. Wow. All of those things are happening there. I don't want to keep my callers holding too long. Lot of persons coming on the grid here. Thanks for coming on. Caller, welcome, sir. Welcome, caller. How are you doing?
Morning, Conrad.
Hi, Al. How are you doing, man?
Under the weather, but trying to work on it.
Yeah, man. Trying to get a lot of things out of the way here, you know. But go ahead, my brother. I hope you're medicating yourself.
Let me say this, Conrad.
Mm-hmm.
I love your opening salvo this morning.
Thanks a lot, sir.
It relates to looking at the presentation of the Prime Minister, the truism and the dishonesty in terms of some of the things that he has said. So let me go on to say, Conrad, that while Mr. Honis was on his feet and he was giving us a history lesson, he forget that I am a student of history, and it doesn't matter who the teacher is. I am going to look at what he said and compare it to what happened and to see what he's reporting is so. In other words, is that history is something that took place and it's been reported on in the present. So look back. So let me look back. Mr. Owens, I want to ask you this question. You went too far, so let us look back in the 60s. I noticed you didn't go back to the 60s, you consigned yourself to the 90s. But having consigned yourself to the 90s sound a little distant away, but let me remind you of 2007 to 2011. That is a missing part of our history that will never recorded favorably to Jamaica or to the JLP. That's a missing part. Why do I say so? Conrad O'Brien, do you remember a program known as JLP?
Yes, I do.
Jamaica Infrastructure Development Program? Under the EasySys and the Ministry of Mike Henry?
Yeah, man, I remember.
Do you know that Mike Henry got $36 billion under that program to spend on road infrastructure?
I don't remember I don't remember the figure, but I know that there was a lot of money, and there was a number of roads. Everywhere you drive across the country, you see a sign marked JD, but those road work were never come to fruition. Had never come to fruition. I remember.
The total amount was 36 billion. Equivalent in Jamaican dollar was not yet $100. So in today's world, when I equated it and check out $158 now, it would be $50 billion, and it was to do road infrastructure. Conrad, the thing went so wrong, my friend, that Omar Davis was now not the spokesperson and finance, but on roads and work. He was questioning Minister Audley Shaw to find out. And Bruce Golding entered the fray. And they called in a meeting with Montague from agriculture and Mike Henry. And coming out of the meeting, Patrick Wong had to resign.
Yeah, I remember the resignation of Mr. Wong.
In terms of NWA, watch me. That money was to spend on the road. And the question is, as you said, 30 years. There was no money gotten to spend on the road, and it was given to FinSoc. What happened to that $36 billion that was given? And Michael brought China Harbour here. And they were to do the work. And all that we have seen across the country, Jamaica, was tiny erected by every road. But guess what, Conrad? It was to do both drains, road, infrastructure, and it was to do bridges. Those are three main things that it's supposed to do. And it is out of that, Conrad, they do a 800 million debushing. You remember that 800
Yes, I do remember. It was a major talking point.
Our friend Mike Henry said that he could live in a squalor. And up by Barbican where he was living, they refurbish for 70 million.
Yeah, man. We remember all of those things. But you know, sometimes the memory is so convenient, because there are two things, Al, that I want to just mention quickly as well. Remember now that when the PNP took over, they took over a debt to GDP ratio of 262%. That is just coming out of the Thiago administration. Also, Al, the NIR was at minus $500 million, and when Omar leave it and PJ, it was in the positive of about $2.5 billion. So the foundation was set.
Conrad, let me say this to you.
I have a couple others, Al, but go ahead quickly.
I know I'm going to be quick. Conrad, in life you are to be careful of who tell you about our history and what our history is about. Who is telling you about our history? Who's writing our history? And what they are telling you, is it true or so? Let me tell you why, Conrad. Mr. Onis behaves this way because he knows the landscape of the media. He knows that they will not do any fact check. And he knows that they will call in people like Kevin O'Brien, Nadine Spence, in order to give him an analysis on what the things he had said. And they are going to tell him how well he has done. So he's conscious of that. Had it not been for people like us and you, who decided to look, you can't spend 5.5 hours and trying to tell us something, as you rightly said in your commentary, Conrad, is that warm over food. Warm over.
Can we leave it there for today, Al, please? Can we leave it there for today?
Yes, all right. As I just said this, those who are in talk radio must understand, so you will not get away coming here in order to polish over things.
All right, I'll have to leave it there. Thanks a lot. All right, so a lot said there, but certainly, you know, we pride ourselves here. We will do what we have to. We'll call it out. Hello, welcome, caller.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hey, Milton, how you doing, man?
Not too bad, sir.
Thanks for holding.
First thing first, before you close the program, I see?
Yes, sir.
I'm asking you to play Mr. Navado's Look on the Gully Bank if there's anything to smile about.
It's not Mavado.
Not bad off.
No, I think that's the group there, Morgan Heritage, with Gramps Morgan.
I would like you ask your producer to play it for us, sir.
All right, I don't know if Tanya will be able to find that.
And I request it to say that just last Thursday during the Prime Minister's presentation, I happened to listen to the early sentences of his remarks, sir. And all indications suggest that FinSac run with it and the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich that has occurred in Jamaica since slavery was abolished. That's gonna be the strength of the Labour Party election campaign, sir.
You think that will work? I'll say hi to my friend Ron Powell here. Hi, Ruru. I'll go on. Go ahead.
That depends on the reaction of the People's National Party, sir.
Well, listen. You know, as I've been saying this, Milton, and that certainly in my lifetime is the first I've seen where corruption continued to show up. Pose after pose after pose at number 2, second. And, you know, we have never seen whether the PM is guilty or not. We are not in that. We're not here to determine that. But certainly we have never seen a prime minister who have been directly fingered. When I said fingered, meaning that his name come up in things to impact him in a deliberate way. So I don't believe that this election will be just a normal election. I believe that a lot of things will come into play in this election. It's going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting, Milton.
Yeah, I could agree with you more, sir. And now say something when my fellow Conrad they're not going to like it, right? Andrew Holness has arrived as a communicator. He has arrived as a communicator. That doesn't necessarily mean that a person, a communicator, always say the good right thing, you know.
Agreed. Understand.
So when a person is skilled at communicating, right, I'm going to tell people say the Labour Party machine from 2020. Only Michael Manley campaign in a 72 he died above it, you know. But having said that, sir,
yes,
the response of the PNP should be aware that FinSac gonna play a leading role by the Labour Party in this election.
So they must be prepared to counter with things like SSL and so on. But you must. If you're anticipating, because you're saying to the PNP that listen, you're going to have certain things that feature. So it's as you rightly say, it's going to be a major part of this election. It's going to be the communication war. You know, as Mr. Holness have said it over and over, battling for the minds of the Jamaican people. And how battling for the minds of the Jamaican people. It's by way of communication.
We know that, so I tell you, say, enough coming now, I may say like it, but Andrew Holness has arrived as a communicator, combining with, put him along with Johnson, Smith and Tufton, that have strong combination. So the PMP have to address FinSac one way or the other. Because the pass at the PMP pass Andrew Holness or youth want get the third term. No achievement on behalf of the Jamaican people. And speaking of the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich, that might have been one of the reasons why the Integrity Commission referred his case to the tax administrator and FID. Because in my humble opinion, the continuation of the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich continue as it speak and abated.
Yeah, Milton. All right, Milton. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Very interesting scenario going into the election. We have 3 days into September. 3 days into September, the election is due by the 3rd of September. So it is clear that we will be going to the poll before the 3rd of September, in my humble view. And the communication war is going to be big. I heard Raymond Price elsewhere the other day, and he seems as if he has basically sharpened his pencil to communicate and basically put on his thinking cap there. Really and truly was very exciting to listen to him the other day on a program that I participated on. I was a guest in that program myself. Hello, welcome caller.
Morning, sir.
Hi, morning, Mr. Lewis. How you doing?
All right.
Talk to me.
First, I must say Mark Golding's speech was a very good one. You know. But what I would love to see is that the bank, rein in the bank, certain privileges that they have, I think should be cut. I think Jamaicans should own the majority share in the bank. And the way the system is that we work, put the money in the bank, they give very little for our money. It's a form of slavery. They use the money, lend it to them big friends, whatever. They make a lot of families. And we remain poor because as long as you have your money in the bank, you will be poor.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I don't see us.
The inflation rate.
I don't see us go in the direction where we legislate a scenario where, granted, it may be a good idea that you're talking about and something that sounds quite lofty and so, but I don't see us going the route of legislating us owning the majority in the banks and so on. I agree with you that we must put some basic.
Why you think we shouldn't?
No, I'm not saying that we do. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. Listen to what I'm saying carefully. I'm saying that I don't think we're going to see that. I don't envisage that. Right? However, there are, remember now, you know, that both Mark and Julian talk about it. As a matter of fact, remember that Fitz Jackson got a standing ovation in the parliament when. Yeah, man, I know, but it's not just for you I'm communicating with. Remember, we're talking to an audience. So I'm saying that, you know, things are afoot. As the PNP made their commitment that they will be putting back that bill on the table that will give us a certain minimum guarantees.
What I'm trying to say is that the banking system is not helping us, the poor people of the country.
And I agree.
It's the same slavery system. They don't have us working on the plantation, but they have us working, encouraging us to carry our money there. And when we carry our money there, they use it and make a lot of money. How it helps in the country?
That's why I'm saying to you, Mr. Lewis, that what happened, I don't envisage any legislation being passed in terms of majority ownership and those sort of things. However, there are some basic minimum that we must ask the banks to deal with. And I'm saying that the raft of things that put out there by Fitz Jackson that was voted against by the governing Jamaica Labour Party, the PNP has given a commitment that for getting the reins of power, they will basically put back that on the table for debate and put it through.
What I'm saying is that we need to go far beyond that.
All right, good.
Far beyond that. If the country is to move forward.
All right.
Right? In countries like, if you study what happening in China.
Yes.
China own the banks, you know.
Yes.
And them run things. In Jamaica, we are chasing, you hear that the dollar is devaluing, they're chewing a whole heap of millions there and creating an artificial thing. How it helping us?
No.
Tell me how it helping the country. You can't help us. It's waste of time, wasting the funds when that could be used to run the economy. You are trying to create an artificial value for the money. What sense in it?
Absolutely, because when you hear that dollar is moving and you heard that the BOJ pumped in how much $1 billion into the foreign exchange market and so on, and you wonder.
I'm glad for that, you know. The big guys are glad for that because you see.
Yeah, man, it's a way of making money.
It's the crumbs from off the big man table. They expect we to take up, you know. No, did that for we. I get minimum wage and whatever.
As you talk about minimum wage, Mr. Lewis, what do you make of that additional $1,000 to the minimum wage?
A waste of time. And the $2,000 thing, I think what they should do is buy more beds, put in the hospitals, put on another wing, put on some dialysis, get some dialysis machine, something. But that $2,000 is just a lunch money when I make something.
You're absolutely correct, you know, and even the $20,000 giveaway. Put things, because when you look at the money.
Yeah, don't do that because we're in a recession.
Yeah, and when you look at the money, overall, you would be able to do something with that money that the people would be able to benefit from. For example, people are big on going to the hospital, healthcare, certain things that would get that kind of, better bang for the buck for, rather than giving a one-off $20,000 a year and do a sort of thing. It's just really tinkering on the edges.
Put up some bigger tank. In Franklin, the tank up there probably about 200 euros or more. When you have heavy rain, the tank, excess water, the tank will overflow. Couple of months' time, we realize that we're out of water, when we could be storing more water. So spend the money wisely.
Okay, Mr. Lewis. All right. Great point you're making. Thanks a lot for today. Blessings. All right, good. We are going to see if we can take a final one. Let's see what time we have here. It's now 7 minutes going up to 12 o'clock, and we need a few minutes to close. So let's take this one. Hello, welcome caller.
Mr. Fireman.
Hey, how you do? St. Catherine South. Well, go on.
I'm there. How was the weekend? Good?
Lovely, man, lovely. We give God thanks. We're happy. Mm-hmm.
But they asked you how was the weekend. I may answer the question first.
No problem. That was good.
But why you answer my question now?
All right, go ahead.
It is true that the debate is passed.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
What?
If it is true that what, St. Catherine South?
Somebody called and tell me, but I didn't look at it.
Hold on, I'm not hearing you at all. You're breaking. I want to hear what you're saying.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead now.
Yes, asking if it is true that the debate between that is going on in the parliament here. You hear me?
The budget debate?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Budget.
If it is true that, what about it?
If it's between the British and the Jamaican.
I know you're joking, so move on to the next point.
No, hold on, man. Hold on, I ask you a question. Look, because the Margolin and Zolan Robbins is a British citizen. That's why I'm asking him.
We have seen...
True or false?
False.
Oh, it's not true?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So, I see you all of your start to concede already because Milton just came on. He basically conceded.
Mm-hmm.
Margolin was in Connecticut today. He conceded.
Mm-hmm.
And even Al, the powerful, what you call him, what him say, he is again, he is a,
I don't know.
Yeah, man, he say he's a, when you can remember things, man, he's, help me now, man. Help me now, Mr.
What him saying is a walking encyclopedia or something like that?
Yeah, that he's a great communicator and things like that. I'll look it, listen him. You don't believe Al, you know. Al is a old-time English, old-time Jamaican Michael Manley man. Al is about 89 years old, you know. I know Al very well, you know.
And that is good, you know, we hear long life.
Yes, man, but Al to just go in the pavilion with Mr. Patterson. Al was there. As Michael Manley.
So let's stick to the issue. Why would Mr. Holness go into the parliament and speak so much things that no go so? Why?
For example.
For example, stating that the Jamaican economy grew under their watch and so on during the administration of Bruce and Ardley, and when he finished the reign, the economy effectively declined by 5%. Why did he not make mention of the fact that, listen, the PNP took over debt to GDP of 262%? Why is it the centerpiece of his presentation when he said that the PNP did nothing in the 70s, but the centerpiece of his presentation was the National Housing Trust?
Why is it that Mark Wallen don't come and publish his renunciation?
All right. I have to leave you there, St. Catherine South. No, man, I have to leave you. We're up on the end of the program. Call me tomorrow. All right. Sorry, we didn't cut you off. So we just want to make you know that we're up on the end of the program. So, So thanks for all. We can't take any more calls for today. We recognize that the phone's ringing, but we can't take any more calls for today. We're at the end of the program. Let me say thanks to our guest this morning, Mr. Colin Anthony Bell, Deputy Spokesperson and the Culture and Creative Sector for the People's National Party. Also to all our callers, our viewers and our listeners on the various platforms, to Fit FM, and indeed the Colin Hall Network, also the Caribbean Vibes and Make We Talk. Let's go. All right, until tomorrow.
The preceding hour was brought to you by Kenmore Manufacturing Company Limited.
There you have it. You just have a live broadcast from courtesy of a simulcast broadcast, rather, courtesy of Conrad O'Brien's News Talk 93 FM. 93 FM. I'm gonna play a video. I was just sent in to me based on the shooting this morning. Men reportedly traveling on a motorcycle shot and killed a man in a Toyota Probox motor car near the stoplight. One moment for me, please. Yes. Near the stoplight at the Washington Boulevard and Moulins Road intersection this morning. Traffic came to a standstill. Police are still on the scene. That this morning we reported to you that there was a shooting incident at the stoplight between Washington Boulevard and Moulins Road. Now, basically what we're getting here now is some video footage rather. Here we go. Of the incident this morning. As we speak, I'm being told that police and other officials are on scene at the intersection of Washington Boulevard and Moulins Road intersection. So that is the news coming into us this morning here on the Make We Talk program. We're gonna take it away from here. We're gonna say thank you all for coming on. But that is the news that we had coming on this morning on the program, where a man was shot dead this morning on the intersection of Washington Boulevard and Moulins Road intersection at the stoplight there. Anybody who's familiar with that area, it happened there this morning, and we brought that to you live right here on the Make We Talk program. I want to say thank you all for coming on. Thank you all for being a part of the program. Join me this evening at 7 p.m. Jamaica time, 8 p.m. US time, for the Make We Talk Current Affair program with yours truly, Jeffrey Tavares, and my co-hosts. Our topic will be Jamaica and the upcoming election in our country. Jamaica and the upcoming election in Jamaica. That will be our topic this evening. So join me this evening at 7 p.m. Jamaica time, 8 p.m. US time for the Make We Talk Current Affair program with yours truly, Jeffrey T. Until you hear my voice again, may God bless you. And may God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. I am being told that my special guest will be Communication Director of the People's National Party, Miss Nikisha Bertel. She will be our special guest this evening. Alright, so come on over as we speak about what's going to happen in Jamaica and also in the upcoming general election. Join me this evening. Good evening to you, Sir Chris D. Thank you for coming on, sir. But this is where we're going to say so long from the program for now. We just had a live broadcast courtesy of News Talk 93 FM at the Mona campus on the University of the West Indies in Jamaica. Their talk show host was Mr. Conrad O'Brien, the fireman, the man who talked truth to power. Until you hear my voice again, may God bless you. May God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Unity, strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity, strength, make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity, strength, make we reason, make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity, strength, make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity, strength, make we reason, make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity, strength, make we reason, make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk.